Welcome to Design Thinking Games, a gaming and user experience podcast. Card-carrying UXers Tim Broadwater and Michael Schofield examine the player experience of board games, pen and paper role-playing games, live-action games, and video games. Play through the backlog on your podcatcher of choice and on the web at designthinkinggames.com.
Did you download Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt?
No, but I did pre-order it. So I bought it on Steam, and
it's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's free to play.
I bought a pack or something. I entered my credit card number for something, so I must have gotten I got the pass
special
or some
version.
Shit. Yeah.
I've played 3 or 4 games today of it.
Oh my god! Tell me, what do you think?
So, it is like Fortnight, but on crack, without the building, but with vampires. And each character class is a clan. So, a vanguard is a rogue is a Bruja, and a vanguard is like a Nosferatu or something. I'm totally butchering it, but
no, that's right.
It loads super quick. It is heavy action. And then in the course of the game, you can literally... if you get killed by another vampire, you get 1 life. You come back. However, if you come back and you drink the blood of a human, it lets you come back another time. But anytime you drink the blood of a human, and I don't know if this is in vampire mythology, but there is an organized government entity that hunts the vampires and is aware.
The Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of behind the Masquerade. And if you drain a human, you can come back to life again, but then they know it's reported, and then they will come after you. Tactical dudes will come to hunt you, in addition to all the vampires that are going to hunt you.
Is everyone a player other than the tactical dudes?
Yeah, everyone literally is. It is you are logged into Pubg. Whoever this entity is, that is the Inquisition or whatever, they are burning down the city and smoking you out. And so that's how the ring, Fortnite, kind of keeps getting slower and slower, and it not slower and slower, but smaller and smaller.
Yeah, it's a battle royale.
Yeah, so it forces you into the middle of Prague, and because they're coming. And so there's a story that leads into it, but it's basically all the clans are at war with one another, and they're just fucking each other up. It's crazy. And so in addition to that, that's when this Inquisition or whatever is kind of also hunting you. And so it is super fast paced. It is amazing. You have sniper rifles, and you have shotguns and axes and bats and dual wielding pistols. In addition to dude, you can just climb and scale buildings and jump from building to building and suck the blood out of people and use powers to track people and transform and hide and turn invisible. It's cool. Very cool. My first impressions of it are this is going to be hotness. People are going to love it. And I think a lot of people are playing it on Twitch right now. I've noticed a couple people I follow, the day it came out, they started twitching it,
I'm going to have to check it out. It seems like what you're describing is that it's surprisingly in canon also, right? So there's even a narrative of Prague under siege, which I think is a thing, an event.
Oh,
elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm interested to see once you spin it up and play it, I want you to send me a comment or tell me what you think about the story to see how canon it is. But it feels pretty canon. I'm
pretty excited. Can I ask you? So you described it as Fortnite. Is that only because of the battle royale, or is it sort of cartoony?
No, not cartoony at all. The graphics I thought were impressive, but just the economy of the action and the speed at which you play, and then it forcing you, it basically shrinking the map and forcing you into the middle.
Yeah.
Which is not always the same place. It may shrink you to the left side, or it may shrink you to the bottom, or it may shrink you to this church. It just depends.
Sure. Can I ask, have you played many battle royales?
Probably not, because I've tried Fortnite and I was just
Yeah.
And I was just never a big, fan. I get the appeal,
Yeah.
But I just never liked the thing. But this, I really liked. I just played 5 games, one right after another. It was good.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, it's I'm curious, for whatever reason, perhaps I had it in my mind because there's yet another like vampire game and coming out or recently released. And I've been awash in Vampire the Masquerade stuff. I ended up on Vampire TikTok. And so I'm super like neck deep in this stuff again. And I'm really enjoying it. I even ordered the Vampire rule book because I just got it. I was
They had a couple LARPs, like vampire LARPs at PAX East. I was curious for a minute. I was piqued. I was like, can I just go watch? But I didn't go. So
I suppose my first initial thought was I've played a lot of battle royales. I generally enjoy the genre to a point.
Okay, so for me, I don't know what a battle royale is. Can you?
Yeah, so battle royale is this. I think I would call it a genre or a category of game style where in multiplayer, imagine you have, team-based collaborative, you have team deathmatch. If you've ever played, like one of the shooters, battle royale is a Hunger Games style of play where it's potentially you and a couple, like a small party, like you and maybe two others, against everyone else. The resources are things that you have to pick up. They may be randomly generated resources, or there may be, specific locations that you have to find your way to get there. You insert differently every single time. And after about, a couple of minutes or so, effectively the ring of play begins to shrink. So, if you're caught outside.
This is a common thing. This isn't just a Fortnite thing then.
Yeah. So Fortnite this is actually kind of like fascinating. It may not be the originator, but how this battle royale gameplay emerged into like the mainstream was through this game by, I think the studio, this is off the top of my head, Blue Origins, and their game Pubg, Pubg, and it's a public battlegrounds or something like that.
Heard of it, but I've never played it. Yeah.
We are super privileged to be brought to you by Dice Tower Theater because our show is designed to tease apart mechanics and other aspects of game design so we can better understand why they impact us. But this wonkery didn't start because we were born middle-aged. It began with fandom and escapism. When we're throwing dice at the table, we're not hyper-focused on reasons why someone gets advantage. We are there.
The blue flame has the great risk, correct?
Are you sure, Sophie? I foresee a path you can understand, let alone tread, but you will have to walk yourself.
As they venture into their fourth season, over 12 hours of story, Dice Tower Theater rekindles that original feeling we get.
Are your minds made up too? Then step into the room behind me, adventurers. I wish you find what you seek and can heal your world.
Dice Tower Theater, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
So the idea of PUBG is that you are it's kind of a real world. If Fortnite is sort of like cartoony, and of course like Fortnite has all these or has had all of these events with Marvel and stuff. The idea of PUBG was effectively that you are parachuted in. I believe it was like an Arma mod or a DayZ mod, but you are parachuted in. There's like at the beginning of the match, you are all in this like this 4-engine plane, and it makes its way across the map, which is quite large, multi-terrain, and you can parachute out anywhere you like. Your goal: pick up some weapons, pick up some armor, kill each other, be the last person standing. All the while, the area of play shrinks.
So the shrinking area is not a thing that's distinct or new with Fortnite then.
Right. So what you're describing to me is sort of like this battle royale. Now, what is unique is maybe like how they play it off. So Fortnite. So anyway, PUBG did this, got really popular. PUBG was had notorious bugs and UX problems to the point where, as you and I have discussed so many times before, as soon as someone comes in and does kind of like meets those basic expectations, it becomes a question. The differentiator becomes like the quality of the experience, the UX. So Fortnite wasn't always this battle royale style game, but they created a battle royale and they did it better. And then the Fortnite phenomenon happened. But Fortnite pre-existed before it got popular because it had a regular like team deathmatch and different build modes. But this battle royale, which they ganked from Pubg, they just executed on it. Then, you see battle royales kind of everywhere. Another popular one that's currently popular still is Apex Legends. And
I've heard of that as well, but like literally just like I've never played a lot of games in this genre. This is kind of new to me.
This is interesting because it is new to you. But this idea, the shrinking stuff, the resource constraints, the speed, right? Because worst case scenario, if you tried your best not to encounter anybody and you just camped, you still have to escape the ring, which is going to drive you closer to other people, and eventually, the ring's going to get you. And so the way battle royales are unique are, kind of like how they express these very basic like mechanics. So Apex, I think this is true for Fortnite. I gotta admit, I'm not a Fortnite player because it was too cartoony. But Apex Legends, you have a party of 3 or up to a party of 3. PUBG, you can be in a party of 4 or 1 against 30 or whatever. The one that really let me down because I like my tactical realism. So Battlefield 1, or Battlefield V, whatever. One of the Battlefields recently. I'm sort of written off this series, Battlefield. They've burned me too many times. But they had one called they had a mode called Firestorm, and that was the idea. And it was supposed to be kind of like a hyper realistic first person shooter battle royale. And basically, you're in a forest, and the forest is burning down around you, and those are the rings. Oh, wow. So this is really interesting that you haven't experienced this before, or this is your first battle royale. Yeah.
It is really my first battle royale that I'm like, man, I'm going to play the shit out of this. I mean, because it looks that fun.
Amazing.
And then leveling up, like when I level up a class, and I don't know if this is a battle royale thing, but there's like a player experience level, but then also a character experience level. So you as a player have a ranking, apparently. But then when I level up my Toreador or my Bruja or my Nosferatu, like their powers become apparently more potent and you get more things to do.
Wait,
and then
really? So
that's what I leveled up to like level 3 or 4, like, and it's, or like maybe twice.
That's interesting.
When I played, and then it was giving me all this stuff. It's like, have this ability and this is unlocked. And so, yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm curious, like, when you said that you played a bunch of battle royales and this is like a genre you like,
sure,
like which ones? Like I'm going to ask you the favorite because that's like crappy, but I mean, like which ones have you played the most and liked?
Ah, shit. So, the one I played the most has been PUBG. I think Apex Legends is the smoothest of the ones I've played. Again, caveat, I know Fortnite is the most popular. It's just too cartoony. I can't get over it. I don't want to play it. But Apex Legends of that caliber is the smoothest in terms of like, bug, like expression of bugs or anything like that. But I have played the most of PUBG. I'm trying to think of like the others I've played. There are several. Call of Duty has one. I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, etc.
Is technically speaking, is like, Fall Guys, it's free for everyone.
Yeah.
Is that classified as a battle royale? I mean, because you're eliminating people as you go, and I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's online. If a battle royale is an online multiplayer, that's a last man standing kind of thing, or a survival pit, then I mean, Fall Guy, there's only ever one winner.
Yeah, it's even listed. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is a platform battle royale game. That's it. That's exactly what it is, man. Yeah.
I love Fall Guys. Like, I did not even know that it was a battle royale because it's like fun, athletic competition.
Yeah. So compare. So kind of like, take the mountaintop view and you look down before you. On your right, you see Fall Guys. On the left, you see Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodhunt. Compare them. Guys, playtesting is hard. If you've ever done that, you know how much of a struggle it can be. And if you haven't, you need to. It's part of good game design. That's why I'm super happy that this season of Design Thinking Games is brought to you by Playtest Kit. Literally playtestkit.com, which is designed by Steve Bromley to help us draw reliable, evidence-based conclusions that inform our design decisions. It gives us all the templates and guidance that we need to test prototypes, recruit, pick the right method, interview people, write surveys, and most importantly, configure and analyze the data so that we can do something useful with it. So whether you've never run a playtest before or you're a pro, this kit is going to save you time and help you get more value from each test you run. So sign up for free resources or go to get the full kit at playtestkit.com. And for the rest of the season, this season only of Design Thinking Games, use the code DESIGNTHINKING to get 10% off. And let Steve know who sent you.
So I guess I always thought, and the reason why I never, and maybe this is true for other people, because, but, you know, I always thought like, oh, third person army tactical shooter, whatever, wah wah. And then I never, you know, Call of Duty. And I'm sure if Call of Duty probably is in this genre, or some of the games of Call of Duty are maybe in this genre, I don't know, but like Apex Legends, and then, you know, Pubg, like you said, or Battlefield, or like I just stayed away from this genre because of the military tactical realism, which is great for some people, but just not my jam. But yeah, if you're talking about the genre being this multiplayer video game that is literally a survival last man standing kind of thing, like I really do like Fall Guys. I think Fall Guys is fun. And they keep coming out with seasons. And so with seasons, there's new content, new boards. Never played Fortnite a couple times, but then I think there's going to be seasons to Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodhunt.
100%.
And I remember this about like, Fortnite is that despite the cartooniness, like what people really loved about it is like you had total costume creation in it. Like you could be a Ninja Turtle, or you could be John Wick, or you could be Sailor Moon, or you could be like a goth cheerleader. I mean, you could just build any, kind of costume you want. And this is my very limited exposure to the genre of battle royale games.
No, man. So like what you're describing, so even the character creation like aspect is part of it. The idea, because I know that's actually rewinding back to season 1, that's a big thing that you care about is customizability of your avatar. And that's a thing. So you can unlock different, generally in like, I'm really, so you kind of stalled me when you said that like your character actually becomes more potent, which is in line. Like basically as your vampire levels up, you become more of a boss ass bitch. But in the, like generally in like PUBG or Call of Duty Warzone or, Battlefield Firestorm, which, I think was a failure, Fortnite and stuff, the character potency remains the same, but your skins become cooler and stuff like that. But what it seems like to me, I'm gonna have to check this out, is that maybe like if your character in Bloodhunt really does increase in strength or at least like unlock certain abilities, that rings true to me for something like Dead by Daylight, which I thought was a really cool thing. Because I've played other, I don't know what you call that style of game that Dead by Daylight is, but I
think that is a MOBA. Like that is, there's no like last person survive or like asynchronous horror MOBA.
Right, but you level up your class, right? And so I think
you do unlock things as you go. Yeah, and then I will say, Fall Guys, it's costume customization. You're all the same. You all literally can just jump and slide and run. That's it. What it appeared to be for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt is that if they are putting together matches or battle royale matches, and it's like, rounding to the closest level, like Dead by Daylight does as a MOBA, if you're all level 1 through 12s, and then, that's 50 players, and then after that it's like, okay, 13s through 20.
Sure.
I'm assuming those abilities that unlock are scaled, you know what I mean? So everyone's going to get them, everyone's going to get them. And so it won't be fair. It won't be unfair because everyone at a similar level will be grouped together anyways.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. And there's another one that I found out. I just Googled it too. And there's another one that I play a lot.
And you didn't know it was a Royale?
No, like Tetris 99.
Yes,
Did you ever play it?
Yeah. No, I haven't played it, but I see it on Twitch a lot. Yeah.
It's free on Switch.
It's streamed all the time. Yeah.
And it is literally like you have 100 people that log in and you're playing Tetris, and every single time you get a line score, multiple line score, it like screws other players, and you're just trying to, as fast as possible, screw the other players to kill them. And then, there can only be one Tetris winner and it's the person who survives the longest. Yeah.
It's like classic survival of the fittest, or I guess since you made the reference, it's a classic Highlander. But
there could be only one. You're right. That is totally.
But think there's two mechanics that I think are like really interesting about battle royales that kind of impact their longevity. One is, to your point, like what is the again, I don't have a phrase for this, but it's not how does it level? It's like what changes, what brings you in? Like when we're talking about like RPGs, we're talking about, or specifically something like World of Warcraft or The Division, is like, what is like the end game content, the point where like after you level up, what changes about the event? What special circumstances are there that like keep players returning? So PUBG, one of the reasons that PUBG I think failed, and it's still going on, and maybe they've fixed it, but one of the reasons that Fortnite was able to slip in under this is that PUBG basically was the same map, single map, same gameplay for months and months and months, right? Like nothing really changed, no events. And what Fortnite did kind of expertly is they not only had like events, and it wasn't just skins on the original map, like, oh, now it's nighttime or whatever, but it's like bam, here's fucking Thanos. And like he's part of your game, and he's gonna snap his fingers, or he's gonna murk all of you bitches. And then, I guess kind of dovetailed with that, the thing that really makes a battle royale stand out is their engineering. So and it's interesting to watch, like as a product like engineer or a product manager or a UX person, is that over time, you really can see the engineering of one of these games precisely based off how well and unique the events are. And of course, like, whether or not there are any bugs or problems of balance throughout the game. PUBG failed on both and got totally eclipsed by all of these other games. But something like Fortnite does it pretty expertly. And like I said, you can really appreciate the quality of that engineering of a game because their events are truly unique, like and bananas. And they change the entire tactics of the map. So the time and like what I'll be curious to see about with Bloodhunt is like, well, right now, Prague's on fire. That's the theme. What's the next one, right?
Oh yeah, there could be like werewolves at it. That would be badass.
So werewolves are in World of Darkness, right?
100%. So if
a werewolf will fuck some people up though,
well, that's the thing. So if it's literally an agent of chaos where there's one, that basically you can maybe stun it, but you can never kill it, then it's like, okay, we have to run away from it. Design Thinking Games is an affiliate of Space Engineers. Space Engineers is a sandbox game about engineering, construction, exploration, and survival in space and on planets. To find out more about Space Engineers or its new DLC, Warfare 2, go to designthinkinggames.com/Space Engineers, or just go to our website and click on the banner. When you play Predator Hunting Grounds, that's asynchronous horror like Dead by Daylight. You have 4 Marines, and then 1 Predator or 1 killer and 4 survivors, right? Much like Friday the 13th with Jason versus the Counselors. However, what I like about Predator Hunting Grounds is that each of the type of Marine you are, it's like, this is a scout. No, this is a sniper. This is like the guy who's the medic. They all had different kind of abilities, right?
Yeah.
And so what I noticed about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodhunt is like the Nosferatu can hide. He can stealth. He can blend in. However, where, the Bruja is much more of a melee fighter, okay?
Right.
And like everyone can wield bats and everyone can shoot guns, but there's also a type of vampire, which I don't remember the clan, but there was a tracking one. And so it's kind of like your tracker to where like...
Was it Gangrel?
I don't know. I wouldn't know if you said, just because I can't remember. And I literally only played it a little bit, but that's a vampire who literally can sense other vampires and then can track them. Ooh. And so what happens is essentially like you can drain the blood of humans and just kind of get more life, heal, and come back.
Sure.
But if you kill another vampire, you can Diablerie them?
Yes.
Is that right?
They have Diablerie in this game?
I think it gives you do it. I got it done to me a couple times. So it's really cool. I definitely want to get your kind of thoughts on it, but because it does have it has classes that have different skills, but there's also levels, but it's a level playing field. And I didn't even get involved enough to see like costume customization, but I would assume that that's like, this is the first release. If it's popular, and it seems to be, because as I know from PAX East, what actually makes a game dictates its popularity and its success is how many people add it to their PlayStation or Steam wish list or whatever the other equivalent it is for whatever platform.
Interesting.
And so based on how many people have it on their wish list, then they're like, oh, this is going to be successful or not. And so I know a lot of people have already been playing it and streaming it. So I assume there's costume pieces like you can make and customize. So not every Nosferatu or Gangrel has to look the same. I feel like there's something player experience wise, not just that tickles the one side of a coin, which is like the fun enjoyment piece of like these quick 15-second matches. You know what I mean? But then also the other side, which is the competition to see like how long can you last? Like how good are you? And like none of the games are ever longer than like what, 15 minutes, something like that.
Can be.
And so it's really fun because you can just keep playing. You can get like 4 or 5 games in a half hour.
Wow. I mean, yeah, because like when you play like PUBG, like you can have a map that goes on for 30 minutes. And so one of the things I think is true about a good battle royale is that you can, the goal is to be last person standing. And you do not have to do that through violence, right? So one of the
you could just hide, right?
Well, you can try to hide or gather resources, like and then sort of there's an element of like luck in the draw. Like one of my favorite sessions, like back before PUBG was getting shit on by everything, before Fortnight like showed everyone what battle royale could be, was basically I was playing 2-man servers, so duos. And we ended up being in my partner and I ended up being in the top 10. And at this point, the ring had narrowed down into kind of like the edge of like a village, right? So so there's a little bit of like open grasslands, and it incorporated a couple of houses. And basically, the winner, like somebody basically spent a good chunk of at least like the last 10 minutes of the map or whatever, luckily in the right enough spot, like where they just were in one of these buildings and they held it down. Basically what happens is like the reality is like the better equipped and the better positioned person won. So yeah, like so we just got mowed down because somebody had acquired, they had taken over a house that someone else had been camping in. So it had a ton of resources in there. They had all the armor. They had like level 3 helmets, level 3 backpacks, level 3 body armor, and they were poking their like big ass like machine gun out of the window, just mowing down people who are coming up. And then you end up just, dying because they're in a much better position than you. And but the idea is like they could have won, and maybe they did, killing only one person the entire time. The circle really does narrow down. This is, we're talking about a genre, so who knows how.
Oh, so it'll force you into a death field, and one of you will die first.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. That makes okay. So
it's a really interesting game because you can
totally new to this genre. I know nothing about this.
But you're not new to it. You've just never like seen you participated in several, but you've just never like connected the dots. And now I guarantee that when you go in and watch Bloodhunt, or so you end up playing another one, you will see this genre for what it is. You'll be like, oh, I now have a word for this. It's really cool because like, it's not often that you see like a new type of gameplay, like something is like some kind of team deathmatch. Even, my current game of choice right now of the evening remains Hell Let Loose. That's team deathmatch, right? It's squad-based team deathmatch. You can put like some feathers in the cap to like make it unique, but it's not super often when you have like a new type of multiplayer game, right? And that's something that's like pretty cool.
So we very much appreciate you listening. We're a budding podcast, so if you could rate us or subscribe, we would appreciate it. We are on Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter. Please feel free to connect with us there. We also have super affordable advertising spaces as well as Patreon tiers. Apart from that, you can connect with us on designthinkinggames.com.
And maybe you'll find us in Bloodhunt. Bleh. Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Design Thinking Games podcast. You only have so much time, and it means a lot you shared it with us. To connect with your hosts, Michael or Tim, visit Design Thinking Games on TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. DMs are open. You can also check out designthinkinggames.com, where you can request topics, ask questions, or see what else is going on. Until next time, game on.